Cannibalism is one of the worst things. It's disgusting and ugh, I can't even survive looking at it. But Wally's unseen cannibalism, like robot cannibalism, I'm not sure if I'll survive this or not, but you know what? I'm interested.
Oh man, cupcake in a cup is delicious. Wally totally had the right idea with this one. How did they make it taste this good? Let's see, sugar, potassium benzoate. Ugh, gross! I'm not eating potassium benzoate. Classics is my the show where ruining your internet. Welcome to Film Theory, the show where ruining your favorite childhood classics is my prime directive. My crosshairs today is none other than Wally. Now, I could be in the worst of moods, like say hypothetical situation when you have to wait weeks for the darn cable company to fix your stupid internet, when, you know, the internet is kinda your job, and so you're paying people to just sit around and stare at their computers without actually being able to do anything. And do you think that the cable company is gonna come back and repay you for all the lost time and effort? No. Meanwhile, the people who watch your videos are like, hey, where's your videos? What are you doing? MatPat's slacking off. And you're like, no, it's not my fault. Blame the internet company. But no one cares. No one cares. You know those sorts of moods? Yeah, I could be in one of those purely hypothetical moods just like that, not based on real circumstances. But you know what? The magic of Pixar makes it all just fade away. And Wall-E is my all-time favorite. You can keep your Incredibles and Nemos. None of them can compete with robots learning to love. And then they watch Hello Dolly, and then they hold hands, and oh, just getting choked up seeing these clips from the movie. Cut to the next scene, Ronnie. Cut to the next scene. And now they're dancing through space. Oh, I kid you not, I weep openly at 3 separate points in this movie. Well, at least I did. Now that I'm in the theory game, I don't so much watch movies anymore as I do study them. And this time I rewatched Wall-E, I wasn't crying because of robot love. I was crying because of the dark secret hidden in the bowels of the Starliner Axiom. To give you a refresher, the Axiom was supposed to be a safe haven for humanity, taking a few laps around the solar system while Wall-E's cleaned up the planet Earth and made it inhabitable once again. But when the events of Wall-E take place, they've actually been gone for centuries, longer than they first intended. They mention it in the movie like it's no big deal.
And welcome to day 255,642 aboard the Axiom. Oh, hey, I see the ship's log is showing that today is our 700th anniversary of our 5-year cruise. Well,
but that's gonna cause some problems, and one in particular. What are they eating? Cupcake in a cup? What even is that? So be careful what you ask, because if you connect the dots throughout the movie, you can clearly see what the people on the Axiom are truly eating. And spoiler alert, it ain't Matt Damon's poop-tatoes. They're eating each other. That's right, your favorite movie about an adorable little trash robot trying to save the world has covert implications that humanity is so screwed over that people are eating each other. Look, I'm not happy about it either. I wish this could be a theory about how Wall-E discovered the true meaning of Christmas, but there's just no evidence. Cannibalism, though? There's a lot of fishy things in this movie that point strongly in that direction. If it's been a minute since you've last seen Wall-E, 2 things. First, go watch it one final time before you forever start associating it with the consumption of human flesh. And second, there are a few key plot points that you'll want to keep in mind. Wall-E is set a good way into the future, in the year 2805. But the real action begins in 2105, when the Earth became too polluted to sustain human life. The proposed solution is for a superstore named By and Large to build giant spaceships to evacuate humans for 5 years while little robots clean up the mess and make Earth great again. Fast forward to the events of the movie, and as I mentioned before, what was supposed to last for 5 years has now lasted 700. And that leads us to what is a pretty obvious claim at this point. The Axiom has got to be out of food. Trying to stretch 5 years worth of rations into 700 just ain't gonna work. When I go a week without buying groceries, I'm down to open-faced peanut butter sandwiches and trying to determine if I can drink barbecue sauce for my daily recommended calories. Maybe they put extra food on board. I hear you're busy busy little fingers typing in the comments already, and yeah, I would say that's practically a guarantee, as packing extra is standard operating practice for today's space travelers. For example, NASA, for an average 7-day flight, will have 2 extra days of food on board with them. But when it comes to the Axiom, we're talking about 140 times the amount of food they would need for the planned 5-year excursion. 140 times! Even if by and large got wildly ambitious and stocked the Axiom with, say, 10 years of food, an additional 2 times the planned trip length, people would still start going hungry hundreds of years before the events we see in the movie. Plus, it's not like people are rationing out their meals. Unlike Matt Damon on the surface of Mars, everyone is unaware of how much food they have left. So the idea of rationing in order to conserve for the long haul isn't a thing they're worried about, and yet the food keeps coming. But from where? It's also important to note that food is going to be different than other limited resources like fuel or water, because there are easy ways for the Axiom to harvest those things for the several centuries where they're in space. In the special feature Captaining the Axiom, we learn 2 important details about the ship. For one, the ship is made out of a nuclear-embedded alloy.
The Axiom is a second-generation General Dynamics Type 3 hull configuration made of a patented nuclear-embedded positronium alloy,
Which would seem to indicate that it's running on nuclear power. While food supplies will quickly dwindle after a few years, nuclear reactors get a whole lot more bang for the buck. For example, when fully reacted, 1 kilogram of uranium-235, popular reaction agent, produces as much energy as 1,500 tons of coal. So a small amount of that stuff will cover you for quite a long time. And it's not like uranium is gonna turn to mush like a week-old avocado. The time it takes for half a sample of uranium-235 to decay is over 700 million years. So don't need to worry about the expiration date on that one. For water, the Captaining the Axiom video also informs us that the ship is headed to the Kuiper Belt.
And here's your destination, Captain. The Kuiper Belt, that enigmatic frontier of our solar system, where fragments of our primordial protoplanetary disk still wait to be explored.
This is a part of space that's still, believe it or not, in our own solar system, but is beyond the planets. And all along, we all thought that the solar system ended after your very educated mother just sent you 9 pizzas. Take that, 6th grade science class. Film Theory be dropping knowledge all over this his house. The Kuiper Belt is filled with frozen, asteroid-sized chunks of various substances like methane, ammonia, and you guessed it, water. So it's not going to be hard to imagine that the Axiom could harvest some ice around it. But guess what you won't be finding on rocks floating through the empty void of space? Cows, wheat, other random foodstuffs. So fuel and water could technically be taken care of, but you just can't make food appear out of nowhere. Or can you? This is the future after all, so maybe they've developed a way to create food out of thin air. Or at least that's what I initially thought until I looked a bit closer. I mean, food needs to come from somewhere. Note that we don't see any animals on the ship other than humans. Unlike water, food is more complicated than simply a bunch of hydrogen and oxygen atoms put together. So you'd need some ingredients for the food from somewhere. And even if they had developed some meal replacement superfood like Soylent, which delivers all your essential calories, it still requires plants. Soy. Not even the ship's captain recognizes what a plant is or how it grows.
Where's the thingy? Plant, right.
So what exactly would the hypothetical food be made out of? Also, if the Axiom were somehow able to synthesize food out of thin air, why would it be such a big deal that Earth can grow plants again? Wouldn't they be able to stay on the Axiom or go and colonize a new planet with that kind of technology? Nope, they've definitely run out of food, and yet we see that the population has managed to survive for generations aboard the Axiom.